right, so let's make this a little bit bigger. All right, so let's see what we got. So tell me about this deal while I'm looking at it.
There's a lot I didn't plug in because performance I've used are not this in depth, so a lot I don't know how to use, but it's a 6 unit currently. It has the potential to be a 7 unit. The breakdown is 4 1 bedrooms, 2 studios. I realized in hindsight after I talked to him, when he gave me gross rents of 70K, I don't think that's including the one that he occupies. So if I had to assume probably another 1,200 in rents if he were to vacate, which is his plan.
Does he occupy a one bed or a studio?
I'm not sure, but either way, even if it was a studio or a 1 bed, I would say market, you could get 1,200.
Got it. So you have 1,000 and 1,100. Any reason for that if you're saying you can get 1,200?
No, I just don't know how to use that part of your spreadsheet.
Okay, got it. Let's talk about it. So, that's fine. We'll talk about that. This is all good, or is this from him or from you?
So he gave me garbage bill. I estimated roughly water, insurance. I based off of other properties in the area. Property
Mhm.
taxes is accurate. Landscaping and snow. Again, I took averages of how many times you'd have per year. They're as close as I would think they'd be. He told me his net on the 70 is 50.
And let's go to this. He wants 700. He wants 700.
So no, not necessarily. He was talking to somebody within the last couple of months that they were going to settle on 600. He obviously understands that I would have to be paid a commission. So he said, you bring me something that nets me higher than 6 and, I'll go your way. So I'm trying to see where do the numbers work for obviously a buyer for it to make sense, but still having some kind of money in the deal.
Got it. Okay, so let's start from the top. So we got 650 as an example, just because I think 700 is going to be really too high. But due diligence, legal, civil. Let's just say it's going to be $15,000 to close, and let's just say it costs us another 15,000 in closing costs. Okay, multifamily can get a 30-year loan. That's fine. Interest rate, we're going to say 7%. Loan to purchase is not going to happen at that range. We're going to say 65 to start. We're going to come
To
back to this.
interject, he will hold paper. So that was kind of what I had just in there.
Oh,
He's really flexible on holding paper. He really doesn't need any money to vacate, just enough to get him into like a retirement apartment. So I was just trying to have the buyer put down enough that obviously the guy's not bringing money to the table to sell.
let's say 5%, and let's say 90%. And we're going to do interest only. We'll see how this all plays out later. Number one, I'd also do 20 quarters just to start. I also don't believe you're actually in a 6 cap market.
Yeah, I didn't put that.
What do you think your cap rate is in your market?
People will buy all day if it's a 7.
All day at a 7. Let's go to income. We got a studio one, and all right, let's do this, right? Like when you're trying to get into the nitty gritty, first and foremost, is there any rent control in your area?
No, and those breakdowns, I just tried to break out the 70. I don't actually know what they are per unit. I just know that he grosses 70. But then again, in hindsight, I think that's only 5 of the 6.
So let's just do this. Okay, it's small enough where we can actually just kind of go through it. I'm making this stuff, so okay. And all your rents are made up. You don't know what they are?
I just know his gross. I don't have his unit breakdown.
All right, great. Let's just get us back up to speed. That's all I'm trying to do, and get us to a point where no, come on. There we go. All right, let's see where we're at. We're at you said he's making 70 a month.
Yeah,
all right.
his gross rent is 70.
Yeah. Obviously we don't know what he's renting. He's not renting his unit, so that's gonna be a vacancy. And then we're gonna imagine that we're probably getting more only because if he's already getting 70, he obviously is making more money than we're expecting. And yeah, there's 70 grand with his vacancy. Okay. Let's say we're saying he's in a 1 bedroom, but it doesn't matter. Okay. You're saying we can rent every unit for 1,200, that's market?
Yeah, because of area. Again, depending upon condition, but I would say 1,200 is your low.
All right, I'm gonna leave this blank because we don't know what he's renting things for, so this is still hypothetical. You have a 10% vacancy, which is probably do 5% for now. Obviously, real quick, the only thing we're gonna have to do is get somebody to pay rent on his unit. So let's say $1,000. Market is, let's say we're gonna get it rented immediately. So let's just say 2-3. Let's go to expenses. You said taxes were fine. Insurance is probably fine to me. Internet, you're not going to pay. Electric and gas, I am curious. He's not paying that? They pay that?
He is. He has all utilities paid right now by him. Again, in transition, I would put it pro forma wise to have them flat billed or paid by tenants. But garbage wise, that comes in as part of the electric bill. It's 35 a unit. I put that down there. I think it's just trash removal.
Oh, okay. So you have 2520 as trash removal, but I'm saying just utility costs. Do we have these numbers broken down or no?
I just know that he nets about 50. Trash bill's the only one he gave me exactly because he knew the unit cost off the top of his head.
Okay. So what should we estimate here? What do you want to estimate?
I don't know, 100 a unit. Is that realistic for small units?
Sure. Yeah, that's fine. I'm on board with that. Electric for electric and gas, you're saying?
Yeah,
Okay,
I would
great.
call
So
it probably 100.
that's fine. So then we're just gonna say,
Probably six, right?
yeah, you're right. Yep, which is 7,200 a year.
Mhm.
So that's just electric and gas, landscaping 800, snow 600. Probably pretty light, but fine. I don't know what the building looks like, so I'll trust your judgment.
Mhm.
Leasing costs, we can argue one way or the other and say 600 bucks a year. I mean, whatever. Trash removal, like you had mentioned, repairs and maintenance, 3,500 bucks. I would probably do the same as whatever my maintenance is at 5%. So if that's 3,500, this would be 3,500. Your payroll, admin, and reserves definitely don't need to be that high in this type of deal. Let's say 600 bucks for all of them. And that looks pretty good. Okay, let's go back to our summary page. We have an implied value of 800,000. At 650, we're not a bad deal. Cash and cash is pretty nice, but the only reason why this deal makes sense is because we have this unbelievable seller financing.
Does it
So
work above a 5% interest? I don't know what he wants. He's reasonable, but if he's like 6 or 7.
yeah, so I mean this is at 7%.
Mhm.
So your cash and cash is negative. Now, obviously, this is only because we have such high loan to purchase. If you put more money down, you might be able to get positive somewhere. Hold on.
Mhm.
Not great. Let's say 6%. And because this is also with IO, so you're still gonna have to,
Yeah.
still gonna have the loan here. So this just helps with cash flow purposes. But this still doesn't suck. I mean, I would probably tell you I'd rather do like 5%. And
Yeah.
the long story short is that I'd probably even tell him like, did he tell you an interest rate he would care about or no?
No, he just said as long as they're, a qualified buyer, he's like, I have no problem holding the paper. I don't need the money.
My first offer would be like this, probably 650, or even just say, I mean, now look, if you're going to broker it out, again, 650 with these terms aren't
Mhm.
terrible. And obviously you got to tell your guy to probably do 75%, right? Cover your cost, cover your commission.
Mhm.
If you're going to buy it yourself, I would probably tell you to do, something similar to that,
Mhm.
um, maybe 20% down, what's 90? Yeah, I mean, if he's willing to do this, it'd be stupid, you know?
Yeah.
And obviously you'd only be doing 600,000.
Mhm.
Not taking a commission. But yeah, I mean, if you can get this thing for 600, 10% down, 4% interest only for 5 years and only, I mean, like you're crushing it.
Okay.
It's a steal.
Do you think above 650 is just it doesn't work?
700 then, not 7 million. 700. And actually, with our financing, it's really not going to cost us much.
Yeah, the 12,150 was actually like to the T.
700,000. Yeah, I mean your cap rate sucks. Just, you got to realize you're buying a 5 cap, not even. You're
Mhm.
buying four and change cap.
Yeah.
And the only reason why you're like okay with it is because of the seller financing. But it's
Mhm.
like the one thing I like to stress though is like, okay, let me ask you it this way: what is an average price per unit going for multifamily wise in your market?
Depending upon, class of neighborhood, I would say 100's fine.